Hi everyone, welcome to your mat space today. I hope you're having a good week so far and you are feeling well. So let's start in a seated position, either cross-legged or kneeling. As always, listening to your body throughout today's practice and only doing what feels right for you. So if there's anything that doesn't feel great for the body, then please don't do it, don't push through it. But then equally, start to recognize the difference between discomfort, maybe like in a pose it might be a bit tight for you, a deeper opening in a pose perhaps, especially if you're tightening your hips maybe, or what's pain, and we don't want to work through any pain at all. So if there's any short, sharp, sudden pain, nerval pain, referrals, then we don't want to work with that. Okay, so let's start just by settling on the mat space. So cross-legged or kneeling. Go nice and tall through the spine, a little tuck of the chin, and start to soften everything. So connecting to the breath and just connect to your inhale and your exhale at the moment. So arriving on your mat space, bringing your awareness to the physical body, the mental body, and the emotional body. And just start to connect to how you feel. Closing the eyes, softening the jaw, and just being here. And start to breathe in for a count of 4 through the nose. Allow the belly to rise. At the top, pause and retain the breath for a count of 1. And then slowly exhale through the nose for a count of 6. So we want the exhale to be longer. Inhale for 4. Pause for 1. Exhale for 6. Continuing this with your own rhythm. Just a few more rounds here. Good, and then slowly flickering the eyes open. Interlace the hand and take a big stretch up overhead. Really feel that length through the upper body. Exhale, side bend to the right, back to centre, over to the left. So just moving dynamically side to side, centre, right. Good, keep the tummy drawing in, rooting down through the sit bones. Good, next time over to the right, pause and hold, release the right hand down, find that length. So really root the left sit bone down, the left shoulder draws back just a little bit. Good, and then coming back through centre, interlace the hands again, find that length. Exhale to the left, good, release the left hand down, find that side bend to the right. Opening up between the ribs, good, and then coming back to centre, well done. And then goalposting the arms, so we're turning the palms forwards, elbows roughly shoulder height, and then just start to rotate side to side. So we're getting that movement through the spine. Good. Easing here. And then slowing it down and come to stillness. Good, release the hands down. Come into the neck, so draw the chin in towards the chest. And then imagine you're scraping the chin around along the left collarbone. Pause here. Then start to take the left ear back. Good, as we slowly take the gaze up, press through the chin so we're active as we take the right shoulder, the right ear back behind the shoulder. Then the chin towards the right underarm as we slowly scrape the chin across the right collarbone. Good, one more like that to the left. Scrape the chin, moving slowly, pausing in each section. Left ear comes back behind the left shoulder. Slowly take the head back as we take the right ear behind the right shoulder. Chin towards the right underarm. And then slowly drag the chin along the right collarbone. Good, and then reverse. Nice. Releasing any clicks, pops that may come up. Last time. Feeling that space in the neck. Good, and then coming back to stillness. Nice. And then we're going to bring the arms out to the side. Take the right arm underneath the left arm, either bring the backs of the hands together or the palms to touch, or you can take hold of opposite shoulders. Lift the elbows in line roughly with the shoulder and draw the forearms away so you've got this space. Tuck the chin slightly, and then we're going to draw the elbows in towards the tummy and pause here. Coming into our spinal flexion. Good, and then take the elbows towards the left hip. Left shoulder towards the left hip as we slowly lift up with the elbows coming to our spinal extension, broaden through the chest. As we slowly bring the right shoulder down towards the right hip. Elbows towards the right hip. And then elbows towards the tummy. One more time. Elbows, left hip, left shoulder, left hip. Bring our rotation back into extension through the spine. Right shoulder, right hip. Elbows, right hip. And then chin, elbows in towards the tummy. Reversing it, so elbows towards the right hip. Right shoulder, right hip as we find our extension through the spine. Left shoulder, left hip. Elbows, left hip. Elbows towards the tummy. One more time. Elbows, right hip. Right shoulder, right hip. All the way back for that broadness through the chest as we take the left shoulder, left hip. Elbows, left hip. Elbows in towards the stomach. Good. And then slowly lifting up. Release the hands and give the arms a shake. Good. Okay, so just coming into a little bit of hip work here. So we're going to come into our 90-90. So bring the right shin forwards and the right leg forwards and the left leg back. So roughly 90 degrees, but just listening to the body. So the left knee, you might need to bend a little bit more. The right knee, you need to bend a bit more. So we're working towards this 90-90 position, but it doesn't mean you have to be there. It's depending on your hips. And then bring the hands either side of the right leg. And then we're just going to hinge forwards, folding down over the right leg. Passive hold here. And again, you can play around with the positioning of your body. You can place the upper body more towards the left, more towards the right, whatever feels good for you. And then just soften down here. So soften the hip in the left hip into internal rotation and the right hip into external rotation. Good. Bring a little bit of movement if that feels good. And down. Softening the hips. Good. One more breath here. And slowly start to rise. Squeeze the tummy. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the outer thighs. Start to lift the left leg up. The right leg follows, using your core and your strength through the glutes as we then transition to the other side. So you might move around a bit. So now the left leg is in front, right leg's behind us, left hip's in external rotation, right hip internal rotation. So just find wherever's comfortable for your body. You want to roughly be about center, but again, it's going to depend on your hip. Your right knee might need to come in a little bit more, or your left heel come a little bit more. So the position's yours depending on where your body is at. And then once you've found your position, soften the hips and then start to hinge forward over that left hip. Playing around with, if you want to focus more on internal rotation, maybe bring the hands and the upper body closer to over the right, or you want to feel it more on your left, bring it over to the left. But just start softening the hips. A really nice way to get into both external and internal rotation through the hips. Areas we're often tight in. Good. Tuck the chin slightly. Well done. Just breathe wherever you're feeling it, so keep that connection to the breath. Good. One more breath here. Good, then place the hands underneath you, press ourselves up, and slowly squeeze the tummy, squeeze the glutes, the inner thigh, lift the right leg, keep that control, and then come through center, and then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide, interlace the hands around the feet, as we inhale, find length, and then exhale, hinge forward, but here we want to stay long through the spine, so think about our anterior pelvic tilt, hinge at the hips, and keep that length. You can use the elbows inside the shins to add a little bit more space. Good, just breathing here. Deep breath in, deep breath out. 2 more breaths here. Good. Right, and then slowly lifting up, bring the hands outside the knees as we draw the knees together, and then roll to one side, and we're going to come to our tabletop position. So spread the fingers nice and wide, press down firmly into the fingertips, the knees underneath the hips, and then coming into our cat-cow. So option to have the toes tucked. As we inhale, soften the tummy, tilt the pelvis, chest draws through, gaze comes forward, keep the shoulders nice and soft. As we exhale, squeeze everything in, so chin towards the chest, tummy in towards the spine, really press into the hands to get that opening between the shoulders. As we inhale, exhale, a few more rounds, inhale, exhale. Good, and then coming into some nice big hip circles, one way, and then change direction, so just finding that ease within the body. Good. And then slowly come to stillness. Inhale to lengthen the right leg behind you, bring the toes down, press through the heel, and then bring a little bit of weight forward, bring some movement forwards and back, so you start to move dynamically through the back of the right leg. Good. Come to stillness. Squeeze the right glute, flex the foot as we lift the right leg into the air. Good. Keep the pelvis nice and still, so we squeeze the glutes, squeeze the tummy, bend into the right knee, and then imagine you're taking the right leg out to the side like a peeing puppy. Good. So we're externally rotating through the hip now as we start to take the right leg forwards. Imagine we're taking the right heel towards the right hand. lightly step the right leg outside the right hand, coming into little lizard. So glide the left leg back slightly and bring some movement forwards and back if that feels nice. You can take some little circles. You can bring the hands over to the left a little bit more as we find a little bit more space. Just get this, feel the stretch, wherever feels good for you. Good. Spend a little bit of time here in our hips. Especially if you sit down a lot and you work at a desk, and this is a really nice way to create some space. Good. And then pause and come to stillness and just soften here, soften the hips, not forcing the hips, allow gravity. Good. And then what we're going to do is squeeze the tummy, hug the left knee towards the left elbow as you slowly lift the right leg, trying to stay as neutral as you can. Draw the right hip back slowly and then take the right knee underneath the right hip. Good, give yourself a little shake side to side. Well done. Taking it to the opposite side. Left leg comes back, press through the heel, bring a little bit of movement forwards and back. Squeeze the tummy, squeeze the glutes. Good, and then come to stillness, squeeze the glutes, flex the left foot as we slowly lift the left leg up. Bend into the knee, take the left leg out to the side as if we're peeing puppy. Start to externally rotate the hips. So imagine you're taking the knee towards the ceiling as we draw the left heel super slowly to the top of the mat towards the left hand. Lightly step through with the left hand outside, the left leg outside the left hand. Glide the right leg back a bit and find your stillness or your stretch. So bring some movement through the hips, so forwards, back, maybe some circles, maybe take the hands off to the right. So wherever you're feeling it, wherever you can find your stretch, then pause here. Good, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Just making sure that the jaw's soft, we're still connected to the breath here. Good, and then just soften. Gravity surrendering you down. Good. And then slowly coming back to center. Hug the left knee to the upper left arm. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the tummy. Can we lift that left foot off? Now start to internally rotate the hip as we slowly bring that leg back to center. Squeeze the tummy, then release the left leg down. Good, and then bring some movement side to side. Good, and then come to sit back onto the heels, come into our child's pose. So legs nice, knees nice and wide. Big toes come to touch, send the hips down and slowly walk forwards, softening the forehead down, softening the elbows. And just take a really gentle rock over the forehead. Good. Just easing any tension through the neck. Allow the hips to become nice and heavy. Good, 2 more breaths here. Well done, then slowly walk the hands up towards you. We're going to bring one side of our hips down and come down onto our backs. Good, and then slowly come all the way down. Palms facing up. Close down the eyes. And before we come to our Shavasana, hug the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe take the forehead up to meet the knees as well. Squeeze yourself into a tiny ball. And then coming down. So hopefully you're feeling a bit more open. We've worked through the hips, the shoulders, the spine. And then find your Shavasana. So you can take the legs up the wall if that's more comfortable. A deep bend in the knees. Or this position, this classic Shavasana, which I'm in, so the legs a little bit wider than the hips, so that the feet can soften, the legs can soften. Palms facing up, close the eyes, soften the shoulders, the neck, the hips. just allow the body to melt. So this time back to yourself, pause here. Well, I will leave you in your Shavasana to take as long as you need, as long as you have time for. But as always, it's been an absolute pleasure teaching you, guiding you. See you soon on the mat space. Wishing you a healthy and wonderful day. Namaste.